My plan was to start out this video this afternoon talking about the 1,000+ people that subscribe to us. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. It is very humbling how many comments we've gotten, the subscribers. But unfortunately, this video topic is about people being laid off. So it's not really the right time. You'll have to wait for later. Let's get to talking about all the stuff on TikTok. There are a lot of people being laid off. So I'm retired from a small computer company on the West Coast called Microsoft. We'll talk about that one later with Microsoft, Intel. There's a lot of tech layoffs coming. I thought this was going to be the era for the tech bros. But let's talk about rank and file people being laid off, like this young lady here.
I'm getting laid off today for the first time in my life. So that's a fun, new and exciting thing. No, I'm sad about it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend. It really sucks. I knew it was coming. I didn't know it was coming for me. I knew layoffs were coming, but I didn't know they were coming for me.
Now, it's May, and you've got people who are saying things like, oh, this is just seasonal. You know, she might have started work around Christmas, you know, and they were laying people off after the year, or, you know, maybe it's a business that, you know, I don't know, maybe they make Easter candies and Valentine's Day candies, you know. Well, Mother's Day candy is still coming around the corner, so they shouldn't be laying people off. But look at how long she's been working here.
I've been at my job almost 7 years, and I love it. I love my team. I love what I do. I'm good at what I do, like all of the things, you know. But it happens. It's happening to me.
So at this point in time, you've got a decision to make. Do you offer this woman sympathy?
I literally told my parents, and they're like, oh, you know, layoffs happen. I've been laid off this many times. Like, this many times, you'll be fine. I'm like, that doesn't help me. That doesn't help.
So kudos to this woman's family for offering her the sympathy. They did add that point about her to educate her, because she said this is the first time she's ever been laid off.
What does that have to do with anything? I mean, I get it, but like, I'm just in that space where I'm like, everything sucks. I have a afternoon meeting with HR on a Friday. Like, obviously, I'm getting laid off. That's what it is. So we will see, but I'm pretty sure that I'm getting that paper today.
You know, that's one of those things that you have to remember as an employee. And if you ever forget it, all you have to do is go online or go to a self-help section of a book department, whether it's online or in a store. You will find a ton of people telling you that the best thing you can do is be your own boss. This is not a self-help video. I'm not going to talk to you about being your own boss. I'm just going to warn you that all that stuff is out there. A lot of it is regurgitated garbage.
If you're worried about layoffs and you're wondering if your job is safe, I can give you some insight on how layoff decisions are made. Hi, I'm Christy, and I was a former consultant who's worked on a couple headcount reduction cost optimization projects.
Speaking of garbage, here's a TikTok layoff video from somebody who says they're a consultant who worked with HR on figuring out who to lay off. Let me save you the trouble of watching this. Go watch the movie Office Space with the Bobs. You'll have a much better time, you'll get a few laughs, and you'll save yourself from listening to this dribble. While you're recovering from your layoff and doing the right thing, which is improving yourself and looking for your next job, be wary of people who are trying to tell you that X is at fault and Y is at fault or Amazon's at fault. It's the world's a complicated place. I mean, we can all blame Trump, but you know what? Trump has a team of people that supported him. And behind that, there's the cult of MAGA that voted for him. And then behind that, watching them all fall down, is the FAFO cloud. Yeah, it's a complicated issue. Don't think it's simple as this. I have no idea what this is. What time do my kids get done work so I can call them and ask them to explain it to me? Because, you know, as a Gen Xer, I'm not a boomer and I'm not a millennial. I don't know what's going on here.
I just got home from being laid off as an HR business partner today.
Okay.
It sucks, and all I said to my director was, it caught me off guard, but I'm not surprised.
Always remember that HR does not work for you as an employee. HR works for management to help fire your ass whenever they want to. Whenever.
Their initiative to have everyone get together and find a friendly way to cut costs, their inability to promote people and give people raises, cutting budgets in other ways, these are all signs of a layoff.
So when an HR person gets laid off, remember, we've got two things to talk about. The first one is, and the second one is, who fired you? Was it Karen on the other side of HR who doesn't like your ass?
It makes sense that my position was cut from the rest
HR.
of the generalist and admin type HR team. So
The evil of every company. Always remember, they are there to fire you whenever management wants to. They might do some other stuff. They do some other stuff. But their core. Fire your ass whenever management wants you out the door. Okay, so this is a really good one. They're concerned about about layoffs and Duolingo because apparently Duolingo is taking labor components and trying to automate it. What generation is it that this was? Oh, that's right, the Luddites. You're what, 2018? You're three centuries out of date here with this. Welcome to the Industrial Revolution and the cotton gin. Your job has been replaced with automation. That is always going to happen. And that's a goal of management. The owners, the stakeholders, the shareholders, the owners. The owners are the ones that direct the board, the directors, and the officers to make more money. And if that means getting rid of you, they're going to do so. But they're going to ensure that they continue to make money by, on the other end, continuing to, solicit whatever generation they can that wants to buy their stuff. This is not a shock. Maybe we should figure out how to say it in Spanish or French. If only there was a tool that would teach me that dual language. Ay, caramba. And of course, always remember that if you're in the video game industry and you get laid off, there will be people online talking about the product that's not coming out the door and could really care less about you and your job. Not even a second of sympathy here on this one to, F's in chat, for the people who've lost their job.
So I got laid off from my job out of nowhere yesterday in the middle of my shift. It was a normal day. I was working, and then suddenly my function lead sends a message in chat, in the Teams chat, and says, "Hey, mandatory meeting in 15 minutes." And I was like, that's weird, but we've had meetings before. So as I log into the meeting and I'm waiting, I noticed that they started logging us out of all of our work stuff. And as soon as I saw that, my heart sank because I kind of figured I knew what was next.
This individual right here is brilliant. They hit every single mark. They've got a small business. It wasn't doing well, so they went back into the workforce as an employee. They kept the small business. So they have that stream of income. It wasn't doing great, but they still have it. Now, there's one area that they're confused on. Legal disclaimer, please. Somebody slap that up here. Yeah, one area that they're confused on, had they been doing their taxes properly and paying themselves as an employee out of their small business, they would have been accruing time. And now that they've gone to a job, that's the thing that they are laid off from. The mere ownership of a business does not impact their benefits in most states. So let's get that legal disclaimer up here. First off, you should absolutely look into your benefits, assuming you were doing your payroll and taxes properly and paying yourself in your small business, even a small amount. You've continued to accumulate quarters. Now, my Uncle Chal, I would bring him in here to talk to us, but he's been passed away for a number of years. Uncle Chal is the one that explained to me many, many decades ago how unemployment works. So my advice to you is you go find your Uncle Chal. Your Uncle Chal is going to be a union worker because they know about layoffs. And your Uncle Chal is going to understand about side hustles because they're a union worker. They know about layoffs and they know about unemployment. Your Uncle Chal will give you some really good straight advice. So let's say you didn't report all those previous quarters. Well, you still have a job where you got laid off. You're probably not having a lot of benefits available to you. But, and here's the big one, and this is for everybody, you should always file. because you never know politically what's going to come down the pike. And once you file, you register into political reporting systems for how many people are unemployed looking for work. And there might be other benefits that you're entitled to, such as job, workforce, relocation, education, that sort of stuff. Always. I don't have enough quarters that didn't pay into the system. Great. Go down, file. It's electronic in most states now. But get filed, get registered for benefits. And if you get denied, it might change down the road. At least this way you're in the system as you tried to get them. I wish you good luck. But you know what? Of all the people we've talked to, you're the one that probably needs it the least because you're out there taking care of yourself.
So by now I know you've seen that the ports are empty. So I've seen in every single video that it's going to trickle down from the auto industry, then the food service, retail, so on and so forth. Well, I'm here to tell you it's already happening. I work for a company that is very close with the industry that moves the...
See, these are the people you want to be paying attention to, because people involved in the chain of commerce are going to get hit because those companies operate lean. They operate on margins. They know things like 2 cents. 2 cents what? 2 cents. That's how much profit we make. That's how much margin we have. That's how much we have to play with. If you're working for somewhere where your credo is things like 2 cents, then yeah, those people know, and it's in their, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. It's in their corporate DNA. Where's those HR people? But yeah, those are people in that system who are going to get cut first because you know what? They can bring it back tomorrow.
So I got offered this new position at work, a management position, but the boss told me, he goes, I'm just going to be honest with you. He goes, next week we're starting a round of layoffs. So you become a manager, you're going to have to lay one of the other managers off. It's either going to be Jack or Susie, and you've got to make that decision. So I went home over the weekend, I thought about it, and I didn't know what I was going to do. So Monday morning I walk in the office, and the boss comes right up to me, to my office, and looks at me and goes, okay, you got a big decision to make. Are you going to lay Susie off or Jack off? And I looked at him and I said, where's the lotion and do I got to do it in public?
Okay. This is the clown of our video here. I'm leaving it for two things because here's the opening portion. If you are in this position, here's the answer. They're both getting laid off because that's going to give me some money in my budget and I'm going to find someone better who I might know. You know who I might know? I might know my Uncle Chow. Or you know what? I'm Uncle Chow. And my niece who just lost her job, better educated, better qualified, and she's a hustler. These two are employees. And I've been next to them every day and I know how they goof off. I'm going to get rid of them. I'm going to bring her in. I'm going to change her job title a little bit. And you know what? When I bring her in, she's going to be my hire. And that's a big thing with management. And that's how you know who's going to get laid off. Who is my hire? Don't look at the org chart because I hire somebody and I get promoted or they get promoted as a lateral for whatever reason, or they take on a big project and I slack off and they wind up passing me up. We are still connected and those are the people we take care of. Those other two, I'd get rid of them in a heartbeat. I have nothing. I'll go get my Uncle Chow or I'll be Uncle Chow and I will take care of my own first. Because you know what? That's what someone else is going to do to you.
I lost my job yesterday. I was a nurse for a company and I was laid off. But today I want to tell you why I'm not so worried about it or why I'm not so mad about it. See, I have been with this company for a while now and I have been through 4 other rounds of layoffs. I am not so scared. I have multiple streams of income that are coming in that I have learned from this course. So if you're interested in learning what I am doing, put info in the comments and I'm going to send you all the details.
Speaking of garbage.
So this is part of the problem that we're seeing right now. Things like this are happening. Somebody that has worked for a company for years, and this isn't the only comment that says this on the original post.
Obviously, this woman is speaking about loyalty to the company. Let me just address this for you. If you work for a company for 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days, they will still send you to hell. It's just, who doesn't know this? There is no no such thing as loyalty to the rank and file employees when I have to let someone go. Because if I'm in HR and management tells me, hey, you got to go lay off 50 people, and I go, I know some of these people. They're going to go, what did you say? And I'm going to say nothing. I did not say that at all. 50 people are gone. Hey, you know what? How about 52? It's just that simple. It's not. HR's job is to fire you when management tells them to. HR is not going to look at you and go, I mean, they've been here for 7 years. HR is going to look at their file and go, hey, Susie over here, she has been a pain in the ass to HR for months. Right on the top of the list. Matter of fact, let's put her name in John Hancock level ink. That's what they're going to do to you. So all that time that you spend whining and complaining to HR about your coworker this and your coworker that, that might get you in that John Hancock list. So be careful with HR. Always remember they are never your friend, and they will throw you under the bus in a heartbeat. And that company has no loyalty to you. If they have to let people go, they will let you go regardless of your time, because you are an employee. You're not an owner. I mean, it's just reality. I'm not trying to be harsh or difficult here. I'm just telling you, that's the way business works. It has to. Otherwise, it can't work at all. You know, at some point in time, I haven't seen it in any of these, and I've watched 40 of these so far today. Not one of them has somebody said, you know, the company's stock price is down, or the company's profit margin down, or P&L is down, or we didn't meet our quarterly goals. Anything that would be a metric that if it was a publicly traded company, somebody would say, hey, you know, when we tell this to Wall Street, heads are going to roll. Because those belong to employees further down the line. That's what happens. That is unfortunately the nature of business. A business cannot stay open and continue to operate while it's paying money to failed operations. Eventually, it will run out of money, or it will explode and become Amazon. And Amazon's going to be laying people off too. So eventually everybody is has a chance of being there and handed your pink slip, virtually or in paper. Who knows?
You just know things are going to get worse, guys. UPS is cutting 20,000 jobs. A lot of people have been telling me, well, they're unionized. I don't know if they're going to be able to, cut all those jobs. But, these companies are sinking. They're going to cut jobs. Even Southwest, a company that's never had any layoffs, are cutting jobs. All these industries from the government are cutting jobs. There's going to be lots of houses on the market. There's going to be tons of people scrambling for, jobs that they're overqualified for. So let's see how the market goes. But people that I've been talking to have just been saying, don't spend your money, save, just in case something happens. People that are talking to it with investors, they're like, this is a great opportunity to finally buy, some, dirt cheap houses in a lot of different markets.
So this guy right here offers up two very interesting pieces of advice, which are the exact same coin. One is they're laying people off. So now's the time for you to save, because that will that contracts the economy, sir, and that's what increases job layoffs. It's when the economy contracts that jobs go away. Then he also mentions this is a perfect opportunity for investors. Investors don't always create jobs. They pick up something else and they keep it somewhere else. So there was a famous TED Talk many years ago about a wealthy individual who owned a business who said that as a wealthy person, he can only buy so many TVs for his house. But if he pays all of his employees just a little bit more, they can all buy TVs. And they'll sell a lot more TVs. So that's why, people like Bernie Sanders are worth listening to. You don't have to agree with everything Bernie says. But you could also talk to Robert Reich.
So UPS announced yesterday they were going to lay off 20,000 workers before the end of this year. Here's everything I knew as quickly as possible. So first off, they actually made an announcement earlier this year that they were planning on closing 10% of the facilities by 2028. This was due to restructuring.
So this longshoreman brings up some really good points. First off, they're talking actual real hard numbers, public information. That is always look for sources, see where people are citing things. But just to correct one of his statements, because I've done work for UPS inside and outside of Microsoft, when you and other transportation companies, there's a phrase in aviation about keep the belly full. See, if the belly's full, it pays enough for that plane to fly. And then you put people up top, or cargo up top, or mail up top, and it's make even more money. See, that's the thing. You have to have enough to keep the plane going. You have to have enough to get that truck out on the road. And then if you can fill it, then you're making profit. I mean, literally, this is no different than retail stores. Everybody knows Black Friday. Black Friday on retail stores, there's a common urban misconception, however you want to take it, that says, from Black Friday to the end of the year is when they make their money. They're in the black. But that applies to every industry. There's a period of time within their calendar year, whatever that is, where they hit a certain level of business and, everything is profit forward. But, it's not always just profit. It's also cash flow. Cash flow is actually way more important than profit. Because if you don't have any cash flow.
If after the age of 50 you realize that your employer is all of a sudden starting to treat you differently, my friends, it's not you, it's their strategy to get rid of you. My name is Vicki, and I'm on a mission to help my friends over the age of 50 become educated on how employers are secretly trying to get rid of them. And today I want to share with you a couple strategies that may be happening to you.
Oh my God, I'm looking for people who got laid off, and we come upon yet another one of those people selling self-help books. Always grain of salt. I don't care how bad your diabetes, cholesterol, whatever is. Always take these with a grain of salt. Goodbye, Vicki.
So my Fortune 500 company just announced mass global layoffs, and I'm currently waiting to see if I've been impacted. But here's the thing. Although I work for an American company, I am here in Germany on a German contract. So today I want to go over what the unemployment process looks like here in Germany and what benefits I'm entitled to access because I've been paying into the system for over 5 years. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you how much money I'm going to receive per month from unemployment.
Oh my God, this is great. This is our Uncle Fraulein over there in Germany taking the place of Uncle Chow here on the docks of America. Very valuable information here.
Influential here in Germany, people who are impacted in multinational companies don't often find out that they've been impacted until several weeks to months later. Someone in my position would probably first fall back into Arbeitslosengeld. These words are not for the faint of heart, which is based off of the unemployment insurance that I've been paying into every single month. Friendly reminder that you need to be paying into the system for at least 12 months within the last 30-month period.
Oh my God, what is she saying? She's exactly saying what I said earlier, with the legal disclaimer, by the way, about the lady that had a part-time job or had a small business, and then had a job. It has to do with how often you're paying into the system. In the U.S., it's quarterly. How many quarters have you paid into? How much have you built up that you're entitled to draw back from?
More costs.
Ironically, it appears to be the same way in Germany.
For Arbeit, which helps with free career counseling, job placement service, but I have heard that they're not the most pleasant to work with. There's also...
I mean, it doesn't matter if they're the most pleasant to work with. What matters is it's available, and you show up and you see what you can learn.
As well. Okay, finally, now we're going to talk about severance. Severance greatly differs based off of company, career, industry, how long you've been with that company. So there's like no one size fit all. However, from working here for the last 5 years, having friends in the...
Say what? You could have gone to a company that had a social safety net for people? What? I'm sorry, where's your crazy MAGA uncle? Let's find your crazy MAGA uncle when he gets laid off and he finds out that he's in a red state. Okay, by the way, guess which states offer more unemployment benefits, red state or blue? We don't have to look very hard. You're going to see your crazy MAGA uncle crying when he finds out that he's getting almost nothing for the shortest period of time. Yet all he had to do was cough up a few extra pennies every week in his paycheck to feed the social safety net and want to be part of a system that says, you know what, we want everybody to be, to have part of the safety net if necessary. Unfortunately, people like your crazy MAGA uncle and his cult want to eliminate that safety net.
I have never been rejected so swiftly as today from a job opportunity. Story time, the corporate company that I used to work for, the company that I was laid off from, reached out to me yesterday. The lead recruiter invited me to a phone.
I think this right here is probably this is the one we're going to capstone with. Here's someone who's obviously qualified, unfortunately got laid off. How do we know they're qualified? Well, the company's reaching out to them, trying to bring them back because they've got a position and they're trying to rehire people that know the corporate culture, people who've gotten good performance reviews, people who tick off all those boxes that said, hey, let's try and get Mary back here. And what happens? Mary has to deal with that, just that pain in the ass down the who's not happy that to have a good worker, they want their friend. And unfortunately, that's what you have to deal with. But kudos for the attitude that they have about it. And the fact that they were also smart enough to have a knowledge of the political landscape where they worked, so that as soon as the name popped up, they knew, oh my God, not going to happen. They were rejected when they heard the name. They accepted it when they said, okay, thank you. When that call came in or that email came in that said we decided to go somewhere else, that meant nothing. They knew that was going to happen. That made them laugh and post this video. So you know what? Kudos to them. And you know what? That's what the job market is like. You have to be prepared for the ups and downs, and you got to roll with it and do what's best for yourself. So to all the other layoffs videos that we didn't get to, we'll try and get to you. But again, if you're laid off, do the best you can for yourself and for your career. Don't become a victim to anybody that's targeting you, because guaranteed there are vultures out there looking to target you.